Peace and blessings to the tribe. Peace and blessings to the clans, man. I got a special treat for y'all tonight. Tonight we
Yes.
got the one and only, the Universal Frequencies is in the building, y'all. If y'all into peptides, minerals, and other things of that nature, man, you got to check out this brother's page. This brother's been doing it for a long time. I just got to introduce you like this because I'm really excited myself. But I don't really always get excited. But I always like to talk to master teachers and master teachers and people that have been doing it for a while know what they talk about, bro. So, like I said, man, I want to just give you a big shout out because when I first got into the mineral game, there wasn't a lot of melanated people that was into it like you were into it. And I'm the type of person, I get sick to my stomach when I hear a white man talk too much. So I don't like hearing all
I
that.
get it.
You see what I'm saying? I want to hear somebody that look like me tell me about their experience because we got the same experience whether we not acknowledge it or not. So, man, please,
Right.
no further ado, man, can you please introduce yourself to the tribe?
Well, universal frequencies, go by universal, you know what I'm saying? Again, been on the crystal journey, for at least, 9 years. And in essence, that aligns with when I started my YouTube channel. But, for me, bro, it just something that just came to me spiritually because I wasn't raised to connect with crystals at all, you know, and once I first felt the energy, I was like, I, again, not knowing anything about crystals, went to a crystal shop and all of a sudden, like, I felt like, like, dang, like it must be something to this, you know what I'm saying? Like, like I feel different in this store. And again, got into it and it's just been, moving ever since. And the whole aspect of sharing it, because as you say, like, I was one of the few people you seen that, in essence, melanated, look, somebody that we could resonate with. And for me though, my love language is sharing knowledge. Like I always love to like put people up on game about stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, and sometimes to a fault in the sense of like I talk a person ear off when it comes to like sharing, any type of knowledge or something beneficial. And that just kind of meshed together and and here it is, like, 9 years later, of course I kind of eased up on some of the crystal knowledge or crystal videos because I also want to give that space and that room for people to, tap in for themselves and have their own experiences and see, what it is that you could say like, see their genuine connection with the crystals and not just take it from my perspective, So that's why, because I'm one of those people too that's like wanting to amplify a person's intuition. So in essence, like I'm sharing stuff for a person to learn how to learn on their own and learn how to tune into the intuition. So they're not looking to me constantly for a message or as a preacher or anything, Again, like me sharing was all about me just liking to share. And then to add a little astrology aspect, with Chiron and Gemini, my womb is with the speaking and throat chakra and the wound of possibly feeling like I have something to say but I'm not being heard. So a YouTube channel was also in essence like therapy, allowing for me to share and speak and allow for my throat chakra energy to to circulate, so to speak.
Most definitely, man. Man, it's been a while. We've been trying to get this done for a couple weeks now, and I'm glad we're trying to get it done, man. Like I said, it's a big appreciation. But for anybody that know, if you don't know, go look at his brother's YouTube channel. Please subscribe to his brother's YouTube channel. Check him out. He was when I first started my crystal journey about 8 years ago. I had minerals, but I didn't know what to do with them. So I would tap into
Right.
your page, and it was a sister page. I'm still trying to get her on the line too. And I would listen to, like I said, when we tap into YouTube, this is our obsidian screen to see what we want to see. And if we don't want to hear Europeans talk about the stones that they stole from us and telling us how to activate a stone that are melanin activated, so they ain't even activated them yet. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right,
important
right.
for people that look like us to talk about these things and shed light on them. So don't never ease up. Keep pushing it to the next level because you most definitely laid the foundation for us to skip past the basics. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
yo, man. Other than that, how you doing, man? What's going on?
Man, everything good, bro. as of recently, right now in Tucson, like around the gym show and stuff like that. And as of recently, bro, just a lot of, you know, implementing the basics and staying in tune internally, what I'm saying, maintenance and the energy. I not too long ago did a video on auric field hygiene. And for myself, just really implementing and solidifying a routine that helps to, cleanse and clear out my energy, because I feel a strong vibe or affinity with the water energy, and the water could take on and soak up everything. And, you need a method of, cleansing that water, cleansing that energy. And I've been with the vibe for the longest with the Tao and Tai Chi and Qigong, but as of lately, I've been taking it a lot more, serious, and realizing that in essence, it's the epitome of the energy that's best for me, in the sense of like it's moving and flowing like water, and helping to like move, the chi energy, the chi flow. And not to mention that, in essence, tying the connections to, we talk about rivers a lot of times. When rivers are mentioned in a lot of ancient texts, that's also talking about ley lines, and as above, so below, as within, so without. Mythology is anatomy by law of correspondence. So certain mythology and cosmology stories are also aligned with your body, and so for me, Qigong and Tai Chi, along with just regular meditations, kind of helps for me to keep that energy flow, or to keep those rivers, so to speak, rivers of energy flowing within the body, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of been, you know, you could say one of the main things that's been going on with me is, solidifying my spiritual practices when it comes to auric field health, and staying consistent with it. And honestly, when you said that, I knew what you meant by, like, as you said, I shared crystal knowledge to help kind of, move past the basics. I get what you were saying, but, and I know you know this, but as of recently, on all levels with crystals, everything is just like realizing how much it is about the basics though as well, because the root of the tree is the base. And, making sure just staying consistent with the basics and building off of that, because speaking of the crystals, like I'm proud of myself, because I realize a maturity in me sticking to certain crystals that I know are best, like as far as prescribing certain crystals for myself, and knowing like, all right, this crystal I need to mostly wear a lot, you know, instead of like how I used to be, so like jump from gemstone to gemstone almost every day or every other day, and not knocking or saying anything wrong with it, because your unique energy may call for that. And that's the most important thing too, is like, finding out more about yourself so you could know what's best for you on a crystal level as well, you know, and like, so staying consistent with wearing certain crystals, and as I wear this turquoise with the pyrite in it, I realized, like, if anybody look at most of my videos throughout the years, in some way, form, or fashion, I always kind of kept a turquoise and coral necklace, you know, like, so I always kind of stay close to the turquoise, and that goes back to the whole, Gemini Chiron energy, you know, and that also taps in with the Sagittarius energy as well, because, Sagittarius is a fire sign. It deals with higher learning, shooting the arrow in the sky, and turquoise, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the birthstones for Sagittarius as well. And Sagittarius. Oh,
no, I'm agreeing with you. Go ahead.
Yeah. And I was just gonna say, yeah, and the turquoise again is like, help to tap into that, higher knowledge, and also communicating it, being able to, put it into words and put it into a certain flow. And again, learning from experience, because I realize on certain levels, again, like crystals are just like anything else, you got to know how to use certain crystals on a moderate level, knowing when to implement them, because I realize in certain in certain cases early in the game, I was just like almost like vomiting, you know what I'm saying, as far as like with the truth and knowledge. And I had to like, you know, tone it down. And, you know, also part of me slowing down was also making sure that I take the time to see what I should be sharing with people and what things do I need to keep to myself and what things do I need to sit with and digest before sharing, you know. So also developing that little maturity along the way as well, you know. But you know, yeah, it's a personal thing. I feel like again, you got to learn about yourself. You know, whether it's looking at your numerology, looking at your natal chart, you know, and importantly, not just your sun, moon, and ascendant, but also paying attention to what element so like when you look at the planets, seeing like what element has the most planets in it. You know, do you have a lot of planets in water signs? Do you have a lot of planets in fire signs? You know, air, earth, and and aligning not only your just average spiritual practices, but again, as we're talking about crystals, you know, let that be in alignment with the crystals you wear as well, because that make me think of the opals, you know, and how opals represent what they call in Vedic astrology the Gadanta point. You know, and a Gadanta point is basically where water and fire signs meet. So basically, Gadanta points is you have what it is: Aries touching Pisces. You have Cancer touching Leo, and then you have what it is: Sag touching Scorpio. So that's the three Gadanta points. And basically fire and water points also deals with the energy of steam. And, you know, in Vedic astrology, some people, it depends on who you listening to and stuff like that, you know, because some people make it sound like, oh, a Gadanta point, like almost in a subtle fear mongering way. But it does have like in essence, like a explosion or explosive type of energy in essence, you know, because again, like when you got some tea, you boiling some water and this kettle start whistling, you know, it's because there's a pressure that's coming from the steam, you know what I'm saying, that fire and water coming together. But I find that opals, you know, because of how they create it, you know, because that's the key. Every little aspect of the crystals is what give them their energy. And that's another way to tell, you know, the energies of the crystal is also how they were formed. But, you know, with the opals, they embody that water and fire energy and then also the rainbow energy. But if you have like, again, a lot of planets, if you have a lot of planets in your natal chart that's close to Gadanta points or close to like the cusp of fire and water signs, then opal will possibly, yep. And I'm
get him. Oh, that look like black opal. No, wait, is that white opal?
It's white opal, and then I think the top one might be a chocolate opal. But
okay. You know, black opals is like the most expensive opal right now.
Yeah, man, I almost got my hands on one at the gym show, you know, but I passed on it. But you know, more so because I was looking to invest in some other things. But I definitely came across one. I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? And I never worked with opals, like quite literally. My first time working with opals has been the last year. You know what I'm saying?
I'm keeping it being with you. You the first one that ever broke it down, like what you broke it down, and I have new respect for it because I'll carve open everything else. But I'm not a fan of opals because my whole thing, like you said about the Sagittarius aspect, right? I'm an Aries, Sagittarius, Gemini, and you connected that. You made it make sense. You see what I'm saying? So in mine, as an Aries, of course, aquamarine, the things that calm or balance. I always call it the universal balance or chemistry. You know what I'm saying? And then you said that about the Sagittarius, like now I understand why I'm so attracted to the turquoise. Because it's not really my birthstone, but it's a power stone for indigenous people all around the world. You see what I'm saying? And they do represent, I always thought it represented the sky, which is air, and the water and the earth. I never even thought about the fire aspect of it. So yeah, that's dope as hell. And then hey man, first off, peace to the tribe. Tonight is Mineral Report. And again, we're at Universal Frequencies of Master Mineral Alchemist. that's been doing this for a couple of years. He actually helped me a couple in my studies along the way. So this brother right here, big respect. This big brother right here, Big Chief, Universal Frequencies. So yeah, but back to it though. I never cared for opal because opal is so hard to take care of. Like opals are expensive. I went to the little silver store. I was doing an auction sale, and I go to the superstore and I see this beautiful, beautiful pink opal, and it's shining with colors. It's shining with colors, but they wanted like 2,500 for it. And the process won 2,500 for it. They let it sit there, and they didn't know how to take care of it. They don't know nothing about stones at the auctions. You see what I'm saying? So they let it sit there. Now what's it do if it's just sit there? If it gets too hot, it'll crack. If it gets too cold, if it gets too cold, it'll crack. If it gets too moist, it'll swell up and crack. If it gets too dry, it'll crack. That's why I don't like opals. I like things that last. I like strong things. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you, but of course, Ethiopian opal is, in my opinion, is the most beautiful opal. But Australian Boulder opal is more durable opal. So talking shit though.
I know, and so going along with that, when I came across the opals for the first time, a while back, I came across some fire opals, some Mexican fire opals, and I had them in like a little glass of water or whatever. But as of recently, again, like coming across the Ethiopian opals, like I had to research that because it's certain, I forgot all the terminologies right now, but it's like different terminologies with the types of opal. Like, is it the type of opal that needs to be in water? Is it the type of opal, like you were saying, like, is it brittle? Will it break down easy? And I had a mixture of them when I was rapping some that I was rapping. It was like, man, like I had to be, and I use 12 gauge wire. So it's kind of tough to use delicate crystals with 12 gauge because you kind of got to, have a strong hand to bend it.
You want to make it, if you want to make it secure and last long, people don't be talk your shit, bro, because they don't be understanding the time that you put in to sit here and come up with the second geometry. Then you can't just wire you gotta literally, what's the word for it, man? You gotta complement the energy when you put that copper around it. You see what I'm saying? There's so much that goes into it. But yeah, man, especially when you talk about that opal. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. It's like you gotta have that soft touch, you know what I'm saying? It quite literally like the saying goes, like the iron fist with a velvet glove type of energy. Like you gotta have the strength, but then also the soft touch to balance it out, especially dealing with the opals. But yeah, that's something that I still have to, research more about. Now, just looking at it, like the ones I'm wearing, actually, especially the clear one, like no cracks or nothing like that. I do realize though, like the color pop, in essence, the color pop aligns with me energetically, in the sense of like when I put the ring to the side for a long time, it almost seemed like it was getting like a little like it was hard to see the color. But then when I started wearing it, it's as if it, infused with the chi, and the energy, and kind of like, kind of got, you could say the color popped a lot more again. And speaking of the chi in connection with the crystals, I also realized that with the Ying Ming Zhu, the Ying Ming Zhu that, I shade Ababe Kalindi Iyi, who brought up the Ying Ming Zhu crystals that glow in the dark, and matter of fact, and I saw you had, Brother Hank on here as of recently, and I know he had shown one that he had, and I realized when working with it, like it whenever I was doing my qigong and my tai chi and like, circulating my energy more, like the longer it would stay brighter, but the less I would, be into my exercises on that level. And I say the less, but on some of the days where I wasn't doing it as much though, like it wouldn't stay bright as long. Like the glowing aspect would kind of, dwindle out faster, So also pointing to the fact that, again, the gemstones are, in essence, living and connecting with our living energy as well. Again, it's like a teacher because, ultimately everything when you see in ancient texts about like words and having to speak things and affirmations, like we are walking affirmations without even saying anything, like the mouth is just a secondary version of vibration. A vibration speaks before any words come out of a person's mouth. And the same thing with a crystal, like it has a certain vibration. So the crystals are always talking, and they always talking to our aura, always talking to our physical and subtle body, you know, in that type of way. You feel me? But
Man.
you know,
And speaking of which, you talking about frequencies and vibrations. I started getting, you know how you lose a crystal. I was about to show you a crystal. I had one black opal. I was going to show it to you and couldn't find. I would have, you know what I'm saying? The crystal started moving around on you. This is pink opal. That's why I say some opals are kind of dope. This is pink opal, and
all
this
right,
is Peruvian pink opal.
all right. Peru got that.
Yeah, they just don't have that color pop. But yeah, man, if you don't be careful with them opals, man, they'll crack up on you and dry up on your heartbeat, and they're so expensive. But man, yeah, man, mineral report, man. What's going on in the mineral news? That's me, you, and the goddess I am Seg, and a couple other mineral alchemists are gonna start coming on here and talking about what's going on in the mineral world. You've been talking about stuff for a long time, and now it's time to step it up. Like, think about it. What is BRICS right now? What is BRICS talking about right now? BRICS is talking about BRICS.
Wait, say it again. Say it again.
What is BRICS talking about? Are you familiar with BRICS?
BRICS. Who is that?
So BRICS is one of the new you can say superpowers or organizations that's coming around. It's like man, I can't remember all the damn acronyms to it. It's different land masses like Brazil, Russia. I got to look it up real quick, but if you look up BRICS, the main thing for me is it's all about minerals. The war that they had in Ukraine was about minerals. When you're looking at BRICS, all these wars going on are in mineral-rich places. The Congo, Haiti, all these different places. So I started connecting the dots and looking at all these different places like, boom. I mean, it's not even hard. They're not even trying to hide it. They're not hiding nothing right now. Everything 2020. So
right.
You're looking at Tanzania, and all of a sudden the president of Tanzania was assassinated, and they in turn put an agent in. The president of Tanzania now is a Muslim woman who pretty much don't have no kind of ties or respect for the customs of the Tanzanian people. So Congo, same thing. Congo, we're fighting for everything that we're talking on right now. The cell phone revolves around every single stone that's in the Congo. When you talk about stones that produce energy, not just conduct energy, but produce energy, the Congo has seven secret stones that they have. Now, what if we take one of those secret stones from the Congo and match it with a stone in Haiti called iridium? Now, the reason they're keeping our people, black people, melanated people, whatever we want to call ourselves, dumb, because I be having this conversation with people and it's surprising me, like we don't know what's going on around us right now. They're keeping us distracted. But in the mineral world, they're talking about everything you were talking about 5 or 6 years ago. The importance of these frequencies are starting new energy and everything else. They're just trying to stay ahead of it and talking big words. They call it BRICS. And BRICS is all about rare earth minerals. When we talk about rare earth minerals, what we just talking about? Opals, rare earth mineral, right? Wait a minute.
Yes, sir.
Now you said one of the original stones of the dragon is opal, right? But also tourmaline is one of the original stones of the dragon. That's one, because remember we said opals came from Australia, and so do some kind of tourmalines, as well as tourmalines in Nigeria and Brazil. Now tourmalines are energy conducting stones. You can take a tourmaline and produce energy. Not to mention where is shungite located?
In Russia, mostly, from what I,
mostly Russia and Ukraine. You see what I'm saying? I say that look up the Black Pyramids in Ukraine. What are we talking about right now? So when you were talking about shungite and we're talking about all these pyramids and not even understanding why we're like in tune to this. All right, so Mineral Report is going to help us understand why we're in tune to these things and what's going on, because you kind of like Yoda. You know what I'm saying? You way ahead, and you got so comfortable being so ahead that you slow. No, pay attention, because right now you very well may be a trillionaire and not even know it. Like I am Seg always say, we infillionaires don't even know it. Type shit. I don't need to be a trillionaire. I don't even need to be a billionaire. I just need some land, so some trees all around me, some stones, some enough money to buy me some exotic stones, maybe some Olmec heads, and some let loan, and I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't in nobody way. Everybody, but also, yeah, man, study BRICS. When you get time, I think you need to tap into BRICS and understand what's going on.
And you see, bro, like I do my best, but I'm genuinely a person that's just like, I only deal with news stories if they constantly like show up at my steps spiritually. Like, so if I'm just going about my day and something keeps coming to me to like, hey, pay attention to this aspect, then I pay attention to it. But I'm a little balanced with that because sometimes it could kind of be a little more programming. Then like I feel like if we got the intention to create on certain levels, like, you know, to balance out how much we dealing with the news in essence, because even like going to the gym show is like from the outside looking in, you think like, oh, well, you know, it's not too many melanated people, but at the gym show, man, Brethren, because when you brought up Tanzania, I'm like, I got the Brethren sister from Tanzania had the first time I ever seen it's basically like a mixture of sunstone and moonstone with rainbow glitter in it. It's called rainbow lattice sunstone in some cases. But me personally, because I kind of know how to peep the crystal, I'm like, all right, this also has moonstone in it too. But getting to the subject of the, you know, like with the news stories and stuff like that, like and just me energetically, like I kind of dabble a little bit, but only, and I guess as far as when I start to maybe invest more in a lot of these places, you know, then it will become, you know, a lot more relevant. But again, it's like we have a lot of access to these crystals, and you know, even bringing up the Congo, met a brethren from the Congo with all the malachite chrysocolla pieces at the gym show, you know, at the Kino Sports complex. You know, it's there, and I feel like, you know, again, like, you know, staying up with the supporting, you know, in the essence of, you know, finding other melanated people in the community, you know what I'm saying, and uh connecting with them, and you know, still, you know, checking out the news. And again, though, I feel like this is like a unique balance to, you know, who we are energetically, you
Yeah.
know, because I'd never sit up here and say like, oh man, y'all don't watch the news or don't worry, you know, to that level. But again, on a certain level, for me, it's just better for me to, you know, not dive too much into the stories. But again, like as you brought up some of the ones you shared with me, like you brought up you showed me it was the basically the amount of like gold, silver, platinum, and palladium, you know, and you know, I was able to look at it on the esoteric level and like, all right, palladium. And was my first thing is always doing etymology. So I'm like, what's the etymology of palladium? You know, and palladium connects with palace. You know, basically palladium was coined in 1803 by this brethren William Hyde Wollaston. And though I'm reading off my little paper, I don't again you know, but 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 uh but it connects with Pallas and Pallas Athena. So the metal palladium, in essence, by name, by etymology, connects to Pallas and connects to the Athena energy, you know, and it's also used, it's basically palladium and platinum because they kind of both of the same group on the periodic table, is from the platinum group, but palladium and platinum is used as like basically for it's called catalytic converter material, but basically used it's used on things that's for exhaust emissions, you know. So basically like the exhaust on cars and stuff like that is to help make the the exhaust less pollutant, you know, so it has less pollutants in it. And I'm like, oh, all right, palladium, that's like an alchemy energy. You know, palladium is alchemizing the exhaust coming out of things into something that's, you know, less pollutant. So I'm like, all right, that's like a, you know, alchemist energy. And then again, palladium is also tapping into the Athena energy. So that would be like, you know, almost like the Mars energy, like a strategist, you know, being able to you could say tap into the mental energy, you know, and tap into also like the images, like visualizations, you know, mental energy on that level. But it's like, all right, esoterically, palladium, because I noticed, I'm like, man, palladium, I don't hear about people like, oh man, I'm rocking my
No.
palladium, you know what I'm saying, jewelry and stuff like that. But yet it's so important on this list up here, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, all right, let me look at the etymology and see, on the esoteric, what spirit is, connected to, the palladium, you know what I'm saying? Because
No.
in essence, I had to also realize, like, just as much as we tapping into the gemstones, you know, like the pure metals themselves are, highly valuable. And a lot of, I'm a big into anime, and a lot of anime is where, ancient mythology, it is always this connection with metals, and metals being a vessel for certain spirits. Because I even had a personal experience, that I could share. And if most of y'all watched one of my latest videos I did on like blood, metals, and spirits, but like I was sitting down and I did a meditation, and I was like, man, I want to release like any spirits that's trapped in the metals that I'm wearing, that shouldn't be there, or they was trapped by mistake or whatever. Like, I want to release you, you know what I'm saying? Like, I only want to work with crystal, I only want to work with spirits that don't mind, connecting with my ring, or what I'm saying, being in the metals that I'm working with. So I like did like a little release, and like, like, hey, y'all go about y'all way. And almost right afterwards, man, I started crying. And I'm like, dang, you know what I'm saying? This is my first time ever even doing that and even considering that. But I'm like, all right, they must have something really, really connected to this when it comes to metals and spirits, you know what I'm saying, on that level as well, you know what I'm saying? But but yeah, the palladium aspect. And then also I saw something you mentioned, or something you showed me, with India starting to use silver, instead of, well, in essence, instead of gold, but basically more so just using silver to like back their money and stuff like that in 2026. And first thing I did also was like looked up the astrology of April 2026, because that's the key. Like, if you want to peep game with the news, and like, because when anything popping off, I'm like, all right, what's the natal chart, like what's the transits going on in that moment as well, you know what I'm saying? But nothing that really stood out to me. But just on the level of with India is where the Vedic astrology is, and Vedic astrology honor nakshatras, and nakshatras are like 27 different houses that correlate with the moon energy, and so I'm like, all right, that's just the spirit of the moon energy just even coming out more. And it's even coming out in their banking system, showing the how much they value moon. Because also, when you look at Vedic astrology, like no other, like, I'm like, dang, it's something simple, but to realize that these people gave an actual mythological story to the nodes of the moon, meaning the north node and south node in your natal chart. Like, they actually have a name, Rahu and Ketu, because I don't, other mythologies, I don't know any other mythology that's like, hey, this deity represents the north node and south node, except for Vedic astrology, or Vedic mythology, I should say, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, they place an importance on this moon energy, and meaning that they have a strong awareness of the moon energy. And I feel like that's also the connection through the Naga and the serpent energy, because the serpent moves, touching like a wave going through the duality, going through the yin and yang, kind of like the middle of the yin and yang energy, you know what I'm saying? So kind of understanding that dual aspect, and also mental energy, because the moon, deals with the air element, in the sense of, when it's a full moon, the waves are being pushed by the air, in essence of the moon and the thought energy, but yeah, when I saw that, I'm like, all right, there's, that energy is, coming up into the, what we may call the mundane, but it's coming into, like, again, like the banking system and stuff like that in India. And that's just, giving more clarity to their connection with the moon, and how they place, importance in that connection. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I digress to take a little break.
No, do you think, bro? Like I said, man, I think it was you. I really believe this was you that said this a long time ago. Don't be too far in the past. Don't be too far in the present. we right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm more Department of Defense, so I pay attention to everything north, south, east, west, or what they say in the news, northeast. What is this? Northeast. You know, I smoke a lot. West, south. You know what I'm saying? So I do pay attention to everything, and we got enough of us on ground. We got enough chiefs that cover the field, and enough goddesses that cover the field that are smart enough to be able to tap into our own mineral report. And if we don't pay attention to it, we can't be mad when everybody else paying attention to it. Like, why are they killing those kids in the Congo? Wait a minute. Who is killing the kids in the Congo? Why is Jamaica messed up? Why has Jamaica been messed up? And we can blame all sorts of people, but we don't want to blame the inner circles. We don't want to blame our own governments. We don't want to. Now, when you look at it, what do they get? What do they achieve by hurting these people? This when I start paying attention, because, like I said, most of the time I don't care about what nobody got going on. But if you study a stone and study the history of a stone, if you study lapis lazuli, how many people bled for that piece of lapis lazuli before it got to you? I mean, the pure person that mined it and dug it out, or when he came out when the cave collapsed, you know what I'm saying, fell in on him, and then somebody else robbed him in the desert, because that's their currency. So they robbed him and they took it. And then, I mean, this is eons and eons and eons of what they've been doing with lapis lazuli. So once you start studying certain stones, you start coming across certain histories and certain sciences that, hey, I'm not a scientist, but I know what shungite does because I had to study what shungite is. You see what I'm saying? And then studying, well, damn, that's a very important mineral. Where's this mineral at? Now it makes a whole lot of sense why they're having a war in Russia and Ukraine right now, and why they didn't want Ukraine to join the United. Damn, bro. Like I said, I wasn't really trying to go to the political route, but join the whole what is it? The UN, I think. I think so. The UN. I might be wrong. I might be wrong with my terminology, but they didn't want them to join that because that gives the US access to certain things they ain't supposed to. There's ancient shit all around the world. That's why they have treaties about Antarctica. We know that, right?
Yeah.
So in just in doing that alone and realizing, okay, if you say you just went to the gym show and you got your piece of tanzanite, yesterday's price ain't today's price on that tanzanite. Yesterday's price ain't today's price on silver. Yesterday's price ain't today's price on turquoise or gold or palladium or platinum or any of those things. They go up and down every day, so I have to pay attention to the news. You know what I'm saying? So outside of that, I don't give a fuck. Like I always watch my third eye, just like when you read the Bible. The Bible talks about the stones all throughout the Bible, and I pay more attention to how they did it. There's a certain code that's being said, so I'm paying attention to the code. Wait a minute, what does this stone say? What does this stone? They're talking to you in code because they said that somebody's going to rearrange it and remix it, change the words around, but the codes are still there and they're laying for us in stone. It's true printed stone. So somebody asked a dope question. Actually, the goddess answered an amazing question. The Order of the Divine Cosmic Mother. Can you guys tell me about Pterocyte? I think that's what she said, Pterocyte. I think it's a beautiful stone, and how you feel about it. Is she talking about that blue and black stone, metallic?
So it'll come. So it's almost like it has like a tiger's eye type of luminescence to it. And sometimes it does come in blue. So it's almost like it'll have like that. It almost will look like what some may market as blue tiger's eye mixed with either red or gold as well. And the blue Pterocyte is like some of the most valued Pterocyte. You know, it's seen as grade A in a lot of cases. For me, man, like Pterocyte, like that's one of my top stones. Like it's funny, I haven't worked with it in a while, but like when I was making my bracelets, like I always kept some type of Pterocyte, you know, beads in a lot of my bracelets. And I felt like it was you know, very grounding, but also like it had like a shielding energy to it. You know, I felt like it was almost like padding, like, you know, like, cause it, in essence, it's connected to, I forgot the proper name for it, but it's like a Bestos type of, you know, mineral. And so in essence, again, like how certain stuff is used, that's also the crystal property in essence as well. So the crystal does work like a buffer zone, or like, you know, like a, not say like asbestos is like almost like cushioning the house in essence, but you know, it's like cushioning your aura. But for me, I feel like, you know, it's also one of the best well-rounded crystals. I felt like, you know, I wouldn't have to work with too many other crystals while working with Petersite. And I made a video a while back about like how crystals that have multiple different elements in it, it could be used like on an all-around level where you don't necessarily need to combine it with too many other crystals, because it's almost like a coverall basis type of energy, because it does have a little bit of quartz in it, so it's amplifying and kind of bringing in a high energy. You know, in a lot of cases it's related to the storm energy, and it's said to be a stone that's protective during storms, you know. But you know, for me, yeah, Petersite, I feel like is a great crystal for like just balancing the all around energy. And again, especially if you get a piece that has like a little bit of the red, a little bit of the yellow, and a little bit of the blue, you know, it's like root, solar, you know what I'm saying? Throat, you know, a little bit of the first eye energy, you know, so it's definitely, I feel like, yeah, Petersite is definitely, but you got to feel it for yourself, you know what I'm saying? As I'm sharing with you, don't let what I'm saying, you know, be the determining factor, because I always want to share that, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, you got to, you know, see how you feel when connecting with it, you know, but of course I know that, yeah, you know, when we, you know, sometimes source may appear to us externally as well, and that what I'm saying may, you know, help to add on to that connection or be a confirmation. But yeah, Petersite is definitely you know, one of my favorites for sure.
Most def. I've worked with it lightly when somebody wanted me to create with it, but to sit there and work with like spiritually, I haven't worked with it spiritually yet. So yeah, that's kind of dope. I know that just to say that real quick, it's not Hawkeye. Pediasite is his own stone. It's not Blue Tiger's eye. So it's his own stone. It's beautiful. I have a piece somewhere around here, but it's a beautiful stone. If you want a different kind of blue and black stone, that's beautiful, and it kind of like the blue, it's almost like smoky blue. But yeah, spiritually I haven't worked with it, so you tell us. Like he just said, it depends on how you work with it. You got to give us your experience with it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The god said, or goddess said, I'm sorry, Anuris Mantura. I like that name. Arisha, do you collect harvest gold? We are literally standing on gold, and yet so many of our people are unaware. It's in the ground, rocks, and in the river streams. I'll say, and look, to the point where one of my things, like being like Magneto, you can summon certain things by just sitting there thinking about it long enough. You can people don't understand how we were never, when they said we told them to mine, people are not, we don't have to dig or none of that. All we got to do is summon it at this point in time. They dug everything they were gonna dig up. But what I will say is this, yeah, man, there's so much gold abundant right now, and it's about to flow even more. By 2026, everybody will be on the gold. I'm pretty sure. Oh man, I got a live coming up soon with I'm gonna speak to existence with Dr. Kia Pruitt, and I want to get her on the mineral report. But just a heads up, I've been saying it for a while now. Collect silver, collect gold. If you don't got gold, make an African friend. See, the whole point of dividing the diaspora and dividing different people so we don't talk. If the black people have the highest spending dollar in the world, this is what they say. That's why Chinese people want to invest in us. That's why the Jews invest in us. That's why everybody invests in us and pay attention to us so much. The only ones that they don't want to do that connection is indigenous Americans and Africans. That just like agents. That's how you can tell an agent, but that just sets them on fire. When meanwhile, some of the most amazing minerals, the most powerful minerals, come from right over there on the continent. And like I said, most of our people are kind of docile. They don't know what to do with them. They don't know what they are. If you ask a Haitian what iridium is, they're gonna think you got is that a new form of COVID? You know what I'm saying? If you ask them what Larimar is, they're not gonna know what you're talking about. If you ask them what iridium is, and it's unfortunate. But when you ask the average African, and I talk to Africans all the time, that's what WhatsApp is for. Shout out to the Khoi clan in South Africa, reclaiming their land. They have mines all over Africa. What you want to do right now is make your African friend and talk with them. You see what I'm saying? Ain't no sense in, we got to think big. You know what I'm saying? Think real big. And they'll do it for a small amount of money. We don't understand. People will sell you anything for a couple pieces of paper. We have literally, but we're about to transition out of that. So the people that's still trying to grab the paper, trade your paper for rare earth minerals. Gold can be one of them, but gold right now is kind of going crazy. Gold is right now, mineral news. Gold is right now like 4,200 or give or take 4,200 an ounce. So if you got old school jewelry, your jewelry just went up. If you, I mean, think about it, like the 14 karat and up is going digital right now. So it's like if you got any kind of gold rings or anything like that, that's prime real estate right now. Right now you can buy your car with an ounce of gold. Right now, if you say that gold until this time next year, you can buy a house. So all that with the market crashing the way it's doing in real estate, especially with powers changing hands and a lot of weird shit going on these lands, we have to pay attention to this mineral report. Look around the world. France just got robbed twice. But that's 2 times, right? France just got robbed twice because somebody said, yo, we're gonna steal back the stuff that y'all stole. And they thought some, oh, the great jewels of Napoleon. Napoleon stole every single one of those artifacts from indigenous people. Anybody he felt like he could get out on, that's where he stole those artifacts from. So everything that was just stolen from the France museum, somebody got that and they did a great job. Just same way they robbed the Green Boat. The next day, France got hit again for over 2,000 gold and silver coins. Gold is the new currency. Canada just got hit for gold coins. Oklahoma museum, the museums are getting hit left and right. Look it up. Museum or heist and everything else. They don't want your money. They want their shit back. You know what I'm saying? They want their artifacts back. They want their gold back. This is what they took from us. God's true money is gold and silver. What you about to say, God?
As you was bringing it up, that's also like the whole foot on the ground and us talking to each other and stuff like that. Because that's something I realized about Ethiopia. It was Congo, Namibia. But like I also realized, like again, you know, a lot of people have more control than the news. That's why I be like balanced with it, because it's like shit. A lot of these people are tapping into their minds. Like none of the like Ethiopian with the opals, you could tell, and even from talking to them, there wasn't no like, oh, Europeans just taking over our minds. Like no, they the ones who got control over their minds and way low and in these areas. You know, or what's that?
You know this Ethiopia. You know what this is?
It seemed like a tusk.
Yeah, yeah. A tour aide actually gave it to me though. But
all right,
that goes back to what you were saying. I don't listen to the news for the overall. The 85% of that shit is for dumb people. You know what I'm saying? The 85% for deaf, dumb, and blind. We're not on that frequency. We were looking at shit from a third eye perspective. 2020 literally opened up everybody's eyes. There ain't no takes your backsies. Once you know what I'm saying, once you realize not mostly people are non-playable characters. I'm not talking about that part of the news. When you start tapping into the part where, like I say, WhatsApp, social media, the only reason we're on this obsidian screen is because this obsidian screen goes way further than Facebook. Even though Facebook goes wide, but guess what? People watch us in Africa. People watch us in Thailand. I found out we got a small percentage of people watch us in Thailand. I'm like, what the fuck? Y'all ain't got shit better to do watching Thailand? You know what I'm saying? They watch us in Australia. So that's dope as shit. Shout out all them places. You know what I'm saying? So
shout out to the international fam for sure, man. Because again, that's been some of the people even ordering from me is jewelry wise has been from like, you know, overseas and stuff like that too. So
niggas in the UK be fucking with me hard. Like black people in the UK be fucking with me. But let the news said they don't fuck with us like that. But some of them actually fucking with us, and they be talking they shit, but they be talking funny as hell, but they be cool as motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I be Culture Connect. Right now, we're watching it real time. Look at France. France is falling. All that shit is look. That's why they banging so hard for the little. They really didn't even have 400 years. We be lying about that 400-year thing. There's so many things. If America's only like look how old America is and everything else, we realize they've been lying about time in general. All this shit is lies. They had their little run. Their run is up. That shit is done. That shit is gonna be forgotten about because it didn't last as long as we thought they last. The Moors have literally retaken over Europe. Nobody's paying attention. Karma's a fool. You know what I'm saying? The Moors have literally listen what I'm trying to tell you. The Moors have literally retaken over Europe right now in real time right now. And that's just some of the places. You got China trying to play black men to come over to China to reproduce with their women. Or some they want to reverse engineer what they reverse engineer in the first place when they were trying to white everybody out. Now they want their melanin back in there. You see what I'm saying? Mexico just passed some kind of law for, they still saying the Afro-Indigenous peoples to be recognized because they already know once them Olmec statues were dug up, ain't no tasty backsies. Once the stuff was dug up, you see what I'm saying? So no, I most definitely. I don't care if they from one of them indigenous places. I'm most definitely I'm gonna link with anybody. I fuck with whoever fuck with me type shit, and that goes back to even the knowledge. That's what Mineral Report's about. You see what I'm saying? We linking up with each other. Fuck, you know what I'm saying? What's going on in the ground over there right now? We know that in Chile they just bought, the Chinese people just bought up all the rotocross site. They bought up all the rotocross sites. So rotocross site may be one of them stones you might want to tap into right now. You know what I'm saying?
And I just I got like a couple of pieces as of recently that I just made with the Argentinian rotocross site. Some good quality, good quality.
Yup. They just bought that shit off the market. That's gonna be a rare stone soon. The price just went up. Yesterday's price and today's price. That's why we need to have those conversations. We might come and mess around and cross the Haitian and be like, yo, man, I got this silver rock. What do we do with the rock, man? And I say, send it to me. Let me break this down because you only need to break this much down because for a gram of that, a gram of it is a couple like $100,000s. You see what I'm saying? So mind you, we might need to sell it. We might need to learn how to use the technology and go the next step. Instead of trying to sell the bars, now we need to start getting the technology. If we make our own energy, shout out, what was the name of that movie? The Man Who Fell from Earth. That's what he was talking about. Creating energy where we can live in free homes, all this different shit. And like I said, I'm not the scientist. I'm not the only one talking about this information. This is not new information. This is just, when you study the stones, you realize, damn, this tourmaline produces energy. They have shungite is a water purifier. They're trying to poison the water. You know what I'm saying? If you might want to get you some shungite, some elite that. They're trying to poison the water. Get you some silver. That's on the esoteric. That's on not even on esoteric. That's on the science aspect of it. Silver purify the water. So there's like certain things. I can't say certain things are healing or whatever. But look up all the properties of silver. Get some silver. Right now, everybody's talking about getting gold. Get into that silver, man, because silver right now is still at a good price. A good price that you can tap in. Like silver, like maybe roughly $50 an ounce. Get you a couple ounces of silver because next year that's gonna be $1,000 an ounce. That might be 1 ounce of silver might get you a house. Shit.
Yeah, man. Natural resources, I feel like, is just in general, man, it's definitely like something to, be invested in more than the whole paper money aspect, because it been dead, and again, we could still alchemize it and use it, but it's like now at a point of like, exchanging it for something like, again, like some land, some minerals, because even from that perspective of us like tapping in with the minerals and creating jewelry with it or working with it, but then also on the side being able to invest in them, and have certain minerals, and not to mention that again, like all of them could be used for different things, as far as like like you just said, like with creating technology and stuff like that, you create like little levitation devices with magnets and bismuth. Bismuth got a type of property that could make things like levitate. If y'all go look that up, go look up bismuth and levitation, and you're gonna see like people making this like a magnet just levitate in between two bismuth pieces, and bismuth is basically like a element within itself. It's not necessarily like a mineral with a bunch of different elements in it. It is an element, off of the periodic table, and it's connected to Pepto-Bismol as well, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it is different connections in the copper itself, generating, like you could make little radios just using coils of copper and quartz. And as he bringing up the tourmaline, what I'm saying, I just got gifted a little, it's like a dark green tourmaline,
You said it's dark green?
Yeah, because at first I'm like, oh, it's a black tourmaline, but then when I looked at it, I'm like, no, this is just like a super dark green tourmaline. I put my phone light under it. I'm like, yeah, it's like almost just like super dark green, and I like the green tourmaline because it's more of a masculine energy. Oh yeah, that's fire right there.
I started getting these a couple years ago, but I would like to get some green tourmaline.
Yeah. And it was gifted to me, but man, again, a lot of African brethren and sisters were at the gym show with, again, a lot of the tourmalines, a lot of all these different crystals, man. You know, because that was one thing I did. You know, I ain't gonna say surprise me. It's like a certain level to it. The inner self that knows that is deeper wasn't surprised, but the human aspect of me going through the experience was like, damn, they got a lot of melanated people, you know what I'm saying, from all over the world, with, you know, just mad gemstones in this thing, you know. And it's a cool thing. It ain't like nobody, like, you know what I'm saying, like you know, because you would think in your mind, like, oh, you know, maybe they wouldn't allow it or this and that on some old shit. But it's like, nah, man, everybody, you know what I'm saying, breaking bread. If you in the gemstones, like, you know, it's like just a circulation of energy, you know, like and as you brought up the opals expensive thing, bro, then you tap in with the gym show. Cause honestly, I'll be real with you. Like, I laugh. I'm like, bro, after going to the gym show, like, I never, ever, ever you know, want to shop. I, I never want to shop anywhere. Like, it's almost like, you know, like almost like why shop at, you know, and I say why to not take away any you know, mutual exchanges of support from the local gym from the local gym shops and stuff like that, or even us who got, you know, got our own business and stuff like that. But, you know, it's definitely like you know, because even again that crystal from Tanzania, you know, that rainbow lattice sunstone. Never seen that stone in my life before, but yet it was so non-expensive. You know, bro was just showing me love on the deals, and I caught a few pieces and just kept one for myself. You know, but it's like, man, you know, it's like a lot of stuff. You know, and again, the Ethiopian opals, man, getting some of the opals, and then that also they could tell that I rap crystals. Some people was just gifting me a little extra, like, here, you rap, take this as a little extra gift with you, you know, too. So it definitely was a lot of love at the gym show on that level. And again, as far as like pricing and stuff too. And if I'm not mistaken, as we brought up Peter's site earlier, some of the Peter site does come from Namibia, if I'm not mistaken, in Africa. You know, a lot of it is mined from out there. But again, like, that's a you know, a cistern tending to that. You know, of course you got different types of people, you know, from all over the place, but just seeing like, all right, you know what I'm saying? They got a lot of melanated people that, you know, you could tell they own in their business. Like, you know, it ain't like they there for somebody else. Like, no, they there for themselves. And when I say melanated, I know some people get strongly into phenotypes and stuff like that. But I say melanated, I mean melanated people all over the world. So that may be even some of the Spanish speaking fam as well, too. You know what I'm saying? Because it was, you know, you got Mexican obsidians,
he be from me on social shit. I ain't gonna lie, that shit. Like I said, man, I fuck with who fuck with me. I don't look all the extra shit because they got dummies on every single side. It's multifaceted war. It's multifaceted, literally. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I'm with you, bro. Next time you go to the show, because I got to get to some of the questions. Next time you go to the show, this mineral news, go live and show it. You know what I'm saying? Or record it or go live, and that way, shit, we can spend some money with you. You spend some money with them, and shit. You know what I'm saying? Get that connection, because you already know. You seen that movie Uncut Gems?
Yeah. That I made a video about I got like a video segment I got that's called I want to say Hollywood Gems or Gems in Hollywood, where I show all the different shows and movies that mention crystals, you know, and Uncut Gems was one of the first. That was on the first edition. The first one I did was from Uncut Gems, where Kevin Garnett was scrying in that Ethiopian opal, and he just kind of like, you know, like bam, he saw his whole life flash before his eye. Like, you know, I'm like,
also,
you know,
the science of it. That was the esoteric aspect of it. But going back to what you said about the price of it, where he said he spent what, 500,000 on it or something like that. He banked up in the auction for $1 million. You see what I'm saying? That's when we could say it don't cost a lot, but then because in your realm where you're at, it's cheap because they're trying to get off too. Everybody's trying to do the rat race for that dollar, and some people don't understand The mineral is, so I don't judge. Like I said, I go to estate sales, and the estate sales, they'll sell all this shit for cheap sometimes. It's not my job to teach them nothing or tell them anything. You see what I'm saying? But
Right.
when you're in a place where the stone is plentiful, that don't mean that the stone is plentiful everywhere else. Like we're in Florida, we got access to a whole lot of stuff because there's so many different people here. But that don't mean
Right.
I go to Georgia, and you would think that Georgia will have a bunch of moldavite too, right? As many people in Georgia is into moldavite, like this person right here just said, I'm visiting Washita Wellness Center. Peace, salam to the Washita tribe. I'm visiting South Carolina and met some moldavite and got some, I guess it said got some moldavite, fluorite, and ruby. Most definitely when you're in the Carolinas, tap into that ruby.
Yep. Carolina's definitely got a lot of, like, I've seen like a lot of crystals mined from the Carolinas area, you know what I'm saying?
We don't even know. Mama, go ahead.
And no, and I was just gonna say, you know what I'm saying, a lot of crystals from different places. And I was just gonna say too, with the Tucson vibes, you know, the mineral show is once a year. And yes, they do have like like different shops and stuff and different wholesales that you could get. Like, I feel like they do have a lot of wholesale spots, more so in Quartzsite too, on some around the year type of vibes. It's Quartzsite, Arizona. Like, they got a lot of like big wholesale type of stuff. People, they don't even be inside a building. Like, they kind of like on like just a big little lot or something, you know what I'm saying, with all kind of stuff. And I think I got a video while I was there that might be on my Patreon, but like chrysocolla, all kind of stuff. I got some big chrysocolla from out there as well, because Arizona is definitely, a lot of copper mines, so a lot of turquoise, chrysocolla and stuff like that. Matter of fact, some people just got like a low key, but for me, it's kind of different because back home it ain't like that, in Louisiana. But seeing like people just got like chrysocolla as like a decoration, like rock in your yard, you know what I'm saying? Because it's that.
That's what you get in the game, big dog. Like, you there now, because once you start seeing fine, now you start getting into now we're talking about grades of stones. You got raw, of course, raw. I feel like raw is number one. Then you got AAA, you got AA, and AA. You see what I'm saying? So you talking about copper-based minerals out over there, right? Now we're talking about azurite.
Azurite, Peruvian azurite is on point. I find like they got some fire azurite.
You just said Coca-Cola, and all those stones also eat up EMF. They're also good for, like, they're fighting for it in the Congo for a reason. Coca-Cola is like this little sister of malachite. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all those, man, that's like, and then it's the goddess, the Washita Wellness Center. They were talking about ruby. When you're in the Carolinas, rubies and sapphires are some of the. We don't even understand where we're supposed to get the stones for. Corundum in general, you don't supposed to go for the 1% stones. The 1% stones are the high translucent stones. That's AAA, and I get that. But if you can do so much with a ruby, man, these are like. So, are you familiar with ruby star sapphires?
So as you said that, I just said that to somebody at a gem shop when I got like this teal. Let's see. And it's dark, and it's teal kyanite, and it's not necessarily what some may call like gemstone quality. You know what I'm saying? Oh wait, hold on. Let me see that is right there.
I'm showing you all the different kind of faces of ruby, and people think that when they see some on TV, they think that's the only real ruby. But ruby is the hardest. Like, you go ahead.
And I was just saying, like, with the grade A's and stuff like that, that's more about looks. It's a balance, but in most cases, I realize it's more about looks than actual energy. But sometimes, depending on the crystal, yes, the clarity, like it looking clear or it looking pretty, does have a lot to deal with it being pure, as far as it having like the actual like elements that it's supposed to have in it. You know what I'm saying? Alone. Because say for instance, you got some crystals they consider possibly like D quality. Like, I'm trying to think of one, but like
what you're saying, these were corundums. I like when they say this is what the alchemists do. Give me the big blocks that ain't translucent, the triple A's, right? Or
Right.
pigeon blood. They call triple A's pigeon blood, right?
Mhm.
Now I don't even too much care to have a triple. Like if you're doing ritual work, that's what that's for. In the esoteric world, that's why all the kings and queens have those pigeon blood rubies. But ruby itself can be used it's a perfect stone to carve. You see what I'm saying? Look, give me those record keepers. This is a record keeper, bro.
Yeah, that's right.
Great. Look, what is that? What is that?
Oh yeah, that's big ruby.
Is it? What is it?
Oh yeah, that's the serpent. Yeah, yeah.
It was just a regular record keeper that somebody threw away because they felt like it wasn't nothing. Now, what does the alchemist do? I'll take that because a ruby is a ruby. Energy is energy. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It look like, oh, whatever, but you can find beauty in anything. The side of it shimmers. But then you got the ruby star sapphire. You start tapping into it. Once you appreciate something, it manifests. It magnifies itself in your life. Literally, if you appreciate what you get, if you get you the simplest ruby and just appreciate it, and I can't explain no more than that. You know what I'm saying? But once you appreciate it, it magnifies itself in your life. So then you start talking about grades. You're moving up the ranks each time. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I was gonna say. It's like the only time that a low grade crystal may not be quality energetically is if it's a crystal that has a lot of another mineral mixed in it. So in essence, you're not getting that crystal purely by itself. I feel like that's the only time a low grade crystal is, you know what I'm saying, not as top notch energetically, because it got like, say for instance, is a green aventurine, but it got a whole lot of other mixtures in it too. You know, as far as the specimen that you might have, like, yeah, in essence, it's not the best quality for aventurine that you could have, again, as far as purity levels, but it still could have a great energy. But again, grade A and low grade is more so about like looks than it is energy. And like with the
that grading system don't got nothing to do with us. That's not. You just said something about what you had on your neck. You said turquoise, right? And I have turquoise too. You see what I'm saying? Turquoise is an indigenous thing. So if we look at it through the oppressor's eyes, of course we're gonna be like, oh, it needs to be Robin Eggs blue. It needs to be
right.
One lady, she said, I don't get no kind of turquoise if it has the black matrix in it. I'm like, that's the only kind of turquoise I really like. I like that Bisbee blue, bro. If you over there, you can come across some cheap Bisbee blue. I'll buy it from you. That dark blue with the smoky spider web going through it. That's my favorite.
I think I know what you're talking about.
The Bisbee blue. I want that dark. Like the light blue is cool, but I want that dark. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, Bisbee blue is amazing, bro. But yeah, man, you can't look at things through the pressure eyes or how his value system is anything. That turquoise is something that where you can communicate with the ancestors. We said earlier, so spiritualize. But like I say, in the mineral report, I like to like Sister Myra and OJ Yemi, they always be talking about wholeness. That's their favorite word. And I had to take it because I was like, damn, am I being disrespectful when I say peace? She said wholeness. You know what I'm saying? So we got to try to reword, you know what I'm saying? Rewrite our mind type shit. Go ahead, what's that?
And so one of my, I consider like a distant mentor. I only say distant because I never met him personally, but he been doing it just as long as me, is Seven Bomar. And one of his main little intros and stuff is like wholeness, like, you know what I'm saying? Wholeness, vibration, wholeness and balance, you know. And I'm like, you know, now is the vibrate. Maybe I need to say that more is you know, because the now moment in essence is wholeness as well. Because I saw you was explaining it in another video. I think it was the video with Sister Myra and Rye Hayes about feathers. And you was like the present moment. No, it was you and a sister talking about, I think maybe shadow work or something like that. But long story short, you was like, man, the present moment, you connecting with your past self and your future self right now in this moment. And again, so that make the now moment wholeness as well. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, wholeness, I feel like, you know,
They said like they say you selling glasses, God.
No glasses for sale, man. Recently, I just kind of I've been reevaluating, moving some things around as far as like how I'm presenting my crystal work and stuff like that. I mostly do pendants and rings, you know, and I'm looking to have more bracelets again, but rings and pendants is my main thing because I have my hands in other things, and I had to, you know, sit with myself on that because I feel like sometimes when you're into something and you're connected to a collective that does it full time, you may feel like, oh, well, if I ain't doing it full time, then I'm half saying. It's like, no, bro, you an artist. You got other things, you know what I'm saying? You write, you know, tap into it on your genuine level. You know what I'm saying? Like, and don't try to like make everything under the sun if that's not, you know, what aligns for you. Cause I promised myself this last year as well. It's like, man, I'm only keying in on things that are fulfilling to me when I do it in the moment. If it ever gets to a point where I feel like, you know, and sometimes, yeah, you know, whether it's some people still working 9 to 5s, or even if you're doing what you like and you feel you got to push yourself for quote unquote funds, I'm looking to kind of back out of that energy a little bit more and kind of focus on like fulfillment, like what feels fulfilling in the moment, not just the outcome, like not just when somebody say, hey, let's exchange funds, you know, but when I'm making it, you know, and whether that be again, like, you know, writing, drawing, you know, doing the crystal jewelry. So yeah, like I don't make too many different types of things. I just keep it in the line of like what still feels fun to me, you know, and I don't push it past that because also you're receiving an energy from what I'm creating. And I rather not just have something. And of course, I feel like things be in alignment. Like I could tell like certain different people, like, so it, like, let's just say that I did push myself to, you know, make a piece when I may have not felt like making it, let's just say, you know, then you know, different type of people will order different pieces. Now, if it was in a moment where I was like, you know what I'm saying, getting it in, stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, then people who really sensitive to energy gonna tap in with those pieces, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? I got to keep the energy in a space of fulfillment, but I digress.
I say, the guy, they keep on having amazing comments. They say, yep, we also have more in this land. That is why they come here from other countries, and that's facts. That's most definitely facts. When he was talking about even stuff that we don't pay attention to, there's a lot of stuff we don't pay attention to that American-based stones that once we figure it out. But I mean, are we gonna figure it out this lifetime? Because I'm trying to get it done this lifetime.
Right,
We've
right, right,
been talking about this about 10 years now. Ain't no sense in still talking about the same shit 10 years later. We want some new technology. Rule
right,
number
right.
one, get you some copper. Let's go to the basics. You said the basics, right? Let's get to the basics. Copper. Let's get copper back into the houses. Basics. Get the copper
Right,
back to the houses. Two, let's start studying the land masses that we stand on right now and go get what they call it, surveys of your land, whatever land that we buy, even if you buy foreclosed properties, go get a land survey and find out what mineral rights you have and own of the land. Find out whatever you don't sell grandma house, don't sell the land, none of that shit. Go if somebody look up foreclosed properties, acquire the land. I don't know why everybody thinks somebody's going to hand it to you, but they're doing it real easy to hand it to you right now. If you know how to do all the grants and everything else for everything else, it take you a couple dollars to buy some foreclosed property.
right,
Start growing something. Look what grows in October. We need to really come together. And like you said, we can't do it all, man. I be trying to say certain shit because I'm not really even a big talker. The OGs was like, yo, you need to, you know what I'm saying, help pass the message. That's your job now. I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? So I like that we can talk and have conversations that we can, hey, spark somebody, go plant something in the garden, get ready for this new season is coming on. Because, you know, I keep saying the wintertime is coming. No, the wintertime is here. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So, and everybody ain't gonna be able to jump on the arc now. You know what I'm saying? So get your mineral bank up, mineral vote.
And, and as you say that, you know, and if it feels too overwhelming to get on the external arc, get your arc together, because the first arc is your vessel, because that's also what an arc is. You know, an arc is a ship, it's a vessel, it's a vehicle, you know what I'm saying? And the arc also is your body. Like, can your arc, you know, have that balance of masculine and feminine, you know, one of each animal, so to speak, but, you know, animal, but, you know, like having that balance within your own arc, you know what I'm saying? Because again, like, to it, the energy of helping others is first by helping yourself. You know
Thanks.
what I'm saying? And just, you know, keying in on that, because for me, I realized like I would get into an energy of like trying to help externally too much, to a point of brethren said it very fire to me before. Shout out to brethren Abdi from Somalia. He had told me, like, he brought up compassion fatigue, you know, and it's like, you know, externally, and that goes into people pleasing as well, but compassion fatigue, like, where you just so externally compassionate a little too much, to the point where you're not, you know what I'm saying, like, it should be overflow and not you trying to pour everybody up, and then, you know, like having to, like, all right, now I gotta go back, and, you know, it's like, nah, it should be, you know, overflow, because ultimately, you know, we are in our own body. Like, the only person that has to necessarily worry about more than one person is Siamese twins and parents. You know what I'm saying? Because a parent got to take care of a baby. You know, like, a baby needs that counterpart to help. And a Siamese twin, they, you know, they two people, you know, in essence, in one body, in that sense of it. But it's like you have your own body for a reason, because you're more helpful to me if you're healthy and living a fulfilling life and you're getting your energy together, compared to me having to, you know, help you, or whatever the case may be, like, because you're not helping yourself, you know. But of course, yes, we reach our hand out to help others. Again, it's just like making sure that you do it from the inside out, you know what I'm saying, because it'll automatically relate to you helping others externally. But yeah, like bro said, you know what I'm saying, like, getting the arc together, you know what I'm saying, internally and externally, you know what I'm saying.
Yo, the guy that just said, guy just said, love from Ohio family. We on it. They were just talking about the different things that's on his land. One thing that's all over this land are those mounds, those serpent mounds that are connected energetically wise. You know what I'm saying? My backyard is full of mounds. We full of mounds over here. We're protected by certain energies. The largest magnet is right down the street. You know what I'm saying? So there's mounds all in Ohio, those serpent mounds. When we come together and energy wise, take some quartz up on the head of that serpent mound. Let's do it all. Let's say March 21st. You know what I'm saying? Now we talk about whatever the fuck we want to be talking about. We could talk about that. We all have our courts and send each other energy, but we all got to be locked in. We all, like you said, we all got to have knowledge of self, know what we want, so the little shit won't be distractions. There's no distractions. Go to those mounds, and we can energetically send each other all sorts of shit, man. And I don't know if that means anything to anybody, but shit is out there for us to take it to a whole nother level. I'll say.
And that goes. Oh,
No, go. Yeah. I'm
oh,
with you.
and just to add to that, also, like, when we talk about astrocartography, where how the natal chart aligns to different areas, and so, like, if you got like a Jupiter line that passes through Arizona, then to tap into the Jupiter energy in your natal chart, you know, you would thrive with a crystal that was mined in Arizona, you know what I'm saying, or somewhere internationally, like, as we talking about internationally, because when you do astrocartography, that shows you like the whole world as it relates to your natal chart, you know what I'm saying. So, you know, like, tapping into crystals that come from certain areas that align with your natal chart or your astrocartography, tapping in with crystals that may come from a place where your ancestry is strong at, you know what I'm saying. For me, as of recently, I'm like, man, I gotta tap in more with the Larimar, because, you know, I got Haitian great grandfather straight from Haiti, you know what I'm saying. So, like, that Larimar is mine from the Hispaniola island, but basically, like, you know, the same island is as Haiti in essence. So it's like it's gonna carry, you know, some energetic resonance with that space. And that's also how you could tap in on a quantum level, you know, because again, first and foremost, you are the walking crystal, is all you. You know, the crystals are helpers. It's almost like a laser, you know. It's like, all right, not only you visualizing on your own, but then you bring in a Lamar, you know, and then you add in this thing, you know, because it's about the resonance, you know, the vibration. So it's like, you know, it'll help for you to resonate with that certain area, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I feel like that's also, you know, key as well. And as he bringing up the mounds, you know, it's like certain mounds, certain crystals from certain little sacred places, you know, carrying a certain, you know, energy, you know, and in most cases, you know, I always say first and foremost, because this is something that's not always said, before tapping in, you know, always, you know, express or set that intent, like I want to tap in with 100% truthful ancestors with 100% clarity or a spirit guide, you know, like, you know, and from there, you know, see what crystals you just kind of resonate with or feel like you should get, or from what areas, you know what I'm saying, you resonate with. And then, you know, that's going to be in alignment with your design, with your DNA, you know what I'm saying, on that level, you know, your inner celestial energy, so to speak, or your inner ley lines or dragon lines, so to speak.
Yeah, you're on it. You said something about Larimar from the Dominican Republic outside of the island, and
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
super rare stone. They mine that one all the way out, so that's a rare stone. We
yeah.
can't run past that. What you just said, that's a very powerful stone. If you're into mermaid magic or speaking to sirens or something like that, you want some Larimar, some aquamarine, Larimar or aquamarine. And speaking of aquamarine, greetings, beloved. Are you familiar with Beryl?
Are you-
Yes, I am. Tell me stop playing me, man. Look, man.
Yeah. And matter of fact, it's not changing on here, but this I got the Alexandrite, the color changing barrel.
That's Alexandrite?
Yeah, it's Alexandrite.
That's real Alexandrite.
Yeah, real Alexandrite. Because trust me, I, I'm one of those people where I'm like, where I gotta look up the fakes, the difference between a fake one and a real. Because I can't be walking around here, you know what I'm saying? But you know, from energetic wise and you know, looking it up is like, all right, it's authentic, you know. Because at first I thought it was I got it thinking it was an amethyst ring. I didn't see the name of it, but then like I'm chilling, and man, all of a sudden it had like a teal blue color to it, and I'm like, what? You know, and then looked it up, and it's like, all right, this Alexandrite, you know what I'm saying? And what was pretty cool as of recently, I got more of a confirmation of like, you know, just the resonance for myself with the crystal, because for one, it represents my rising sign in both Western and Vedic astrology. So the is made out of silver. So that's the moon cancer energy, because I'm a Cancer rising on the Western, and then I'm a Gemini rising on the Vedic, and the Gemini, like Alexandrite, is known for like the Gemini energy, and if I'm not mistaken, is associated with want to say June. Yep, the June energy. So you know that's connected to the Gemini aspect. And then I was watching again, y'all, you know, I'm a little anime head, you know what I'm saying? So I was watching Hunter x Hunter, and they were going through some little cards or whatever, and one of the cards they pull out, it was called the Ring of Alexandrite, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, dang, I'm like, it could have been any other type of ring, you know what I'm saying? But it happened to be Alexandrite, you know, and it brought up in the anime as well, like it's known for like good luck and stuff like that, and also amplifying visualizations, in essence, you know, balancing the duality because it changes colors, you know. So yeah.
Beryl's also because they didn't even say aquamarine, they didn't name the exact stone, they just said Beryl. So they know exactly what they're talking about. Beryl, it can be emerald as well. Beryl could be also, it's also another one in North Carolina. So they call it green emerald.
Heliodor or hit.
Yeah,
I forgot.
that's it.
All
That's
right,
it.
come about to say, yep.
So
Because
that's
as you're
all the
saying,
Beryl family.
Cause aquamarine is a beryl, you know what I'm saying? Marganite is a beryl, you know what I'm
Morganite the
saying?
barrel.
You know,
Morganite the barrel. So this is aquamarine, but bruh, I can't even remember when the last time I got it weighed. It's like 7 pounds.
hey, bro, like that's, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a vibe right there, bro.
Yeah, if you know type shit. And then this Morganite.
Ooh, that's solid. That's nice.
So when you at the gym show, now you know what kind of stuff I like. Now you know what we come about. We like nice things. Luxury is in your DNA. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Motherfucking history around it bit. No, man, we at an hour 25, and I'm having fun with this. Like I said, this mineral report, so I want to always give them something they can take back from it. Tell me something. What's around your neck, real quick? G-check. What's that on your neck right now?
Right now, I'm wearing Rude Rakshas. For those that may not be familiar, I'm gonna talk like a person that don't know that's not familiar. Rude Rakshas is a seed from a certain tree. In India, it's tied to the mythology around the deity Shiva and / Rudra, hence the name Rude Rakshas, but it's known as the tears of Shiva. And Rude Rakshas, for me, man, real great for like balancing and grounding my energy on a subtle level. And I also like wearing them like on some recovery vibes for like if I went to exercise or like running, doing any type of physical activity, it's like I feel like real good for like just you could say grounding and what I want to say is recovery from exercise. And then also like I feel shielded on the auric field level from a more subtle perspective. It's not an intense energy. It's like a calming, serene energy, you know, to Rude Rakshas. No, and if you look up Rude Rakshas, they'll bring up like also scientific connections where it say it's good for the electromagnetism of the body and being. And of course, it's connecting you to the tree energy, you know, the star energy, you know, the ancestor energy on a bunch of levels. But yeah, Rude Rakshas, you know, to not go too deep into that. And then right here, I got this is a shungite, pyrite, and yellow fluorite on the sides. This is my clarity necklace, you know, because as of recently, more so, I've become even more of a fan and a collector. I'm say a fan. I've become more connected to the fluorite because with a Cancer rising, you know, quite literally in most cases every astrology different, but as a Cancer rising, the moon in essence would be like the ruler of your chart. And so the moon is always changing signs. So even though I am masculine, you know, I do peep that my mood could kind of, shift, or I could be very sensitive during full moons and stuff like that. Cause I recommended fluorite for anybody who's sensitive, and especially during full moons, because fluorite is known for like preventing the external influences from confusing your energy and amplifying clarity, you know, as well, you know, and it's not an overly zingy, like super high vibe, you know what I'm saying? And especially yellow fluorites, because in most cases they'll have pyrite inclusions in them, you know, a lot of cases. So I like the yellow fluorite, but yeah, that's my clarity necklace, you know what I'm saying? And then I got again the turquoise with the pyrite in it. So some more pyrite.
What kind of turquoise is that? Egyptian?
I forgot honestly. I gotta ask your sister where it comes from, but I don't even want to guess no name. I don't.
No, man,
I don't really.
turquoise, man. People, like I said, I don't look through the colonizer's eyes. Every single one. All right, so for mine, right, each one of my pieces of turquoise comes from a chief from different tribes from all around the world, right? And when I got initiated into whatever I was, right, we came up under a feather serpent. So they gave me a turquoise that's been around for way before me, and it was my turn to hold it. So that's my intergalactic passport. So each one of the turquoise comes from a different tribe. You know what I'm saying? So when you go into a different tribe, you know what I'm saying? They kind of know who you are ahead of time or whatever. So we identify each other. This was what our ancestors do. You say you rock with Shiva, right? When Shiva came down, didn't Shiva have stones on? So,
right.
Say even in the oldest religion ever, they say that the oldest true businesses there was prostitution and gyms and jewelry. You see what I'm saying? If you think about it, all the gods already came down with jewels on. They already had it. That means even before we could understand the acknowledgement of a god in their realm of anything, they understood that God liked these things, and we don't even understand why. You see what I'm saying? So no, that's how we identify each other. The turquoise is going to be turquoise regardless. Now, whatever land that it's around, and of course it magnifies. But I always say, man, the ancestors when they see somebody with turquoise on, that's when they knows where they came from and where they're going. Grant them a wish. So if you're like, especially you're a true sign, you're supposed to have good luck. You're supposed to work for yourself. That's the seven articles of and the indigenous I forget how they used to say it, but they got their own little creed.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like even in Islam though, they say the one that wears turquoise will never work for anybody. He'll be free to work for himself. Prophet Muhammad, he was always with turquoise. In Tibet, Thailand, all those different places, turquoise was the stone of the heavens. So you know what I'm saying? North, south, east, west. I don't look at it through the eyes of the oppressor. Of course, the white man gonna tell you, "Oh man, don't buy Chinese turquoise and don't buy." Only America got the best turquoise, but they're lying. In the 50s and 60s, they were importing turquoise from Tibet and China because they didn't think people could they do the research on the receipts for that. They've been doing gym shows forever, bro. We've been doing gym shows or gym trades forever. So
and I even saw that there was even because I put that on my Discord server. I got a section where I showed not only I was showing the connection where a lot of the people at the gym show from like Thailand and Tibet area and Nepal, they had a lot of turquoise and coral. And I'm like, all right, I'm like, this is spiritual terraforming or basically you get to see how the connection with a certain spirit transcends certain areas. Because here it is, coral and turquoise is big in Arizona, and then it's big out here in Thailand as well. But I was gonna say it also was mined in certain areas around Kemet or Egypt, and you know what I'm saying, and not to mention that it's on King Tut's sarcophagus or whatever. But it's like, yeah, it different places and different connections, and yeah, it's like that Naga Kundalini serpent. Because again, when I think of turquoise, I also think of the, like you said, the heaven and earth connection. So it's like bridging the gap. You know what I'm saying? It's like that energy of
walkie-talkie. Whatever spirit got is your own personal walkie-talkie. When you out in nature, when you say you out there by the springs, when you out there at the river, and it's just you and the trees can identify you, and they'll start talking about you, and the animals will start talking about you. And I'm telling you, like, especially when you got your antennas right, and you out there and you want some plant medicine, and the deers want to come talk to you, and the bears want to come talk to you, and I'm telling you, real time what we doing. So it's like, no, yeah, most definitely had you some turquoise. Oh wait, I thought they say this is Indigenous month. My bad. I thought they say this is Indigenous Heritage Month, so we're gonna talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, turquoise most definitely indigenous stone. So
most definitely, yeah.
Somebody said something about Ross Ben. Yo, man, if y'all can get the connection with Ross Ben, that would be major, bro.
Yeah, Ross Ben. I feel like for me, that was my first time, coming across somebody, melanated, talking about crystals, and Ross Ben was doing like, lectures again, like on like in connection with like Bobby Hemp, like, his stuff go way back, almost like VHS type of, what I'm saying, vibes. So definitely gotta give love and reverence to Ross Ben, for sure.
Like I said, anytime it's a lot of fake motherfuckers out here, bro. They don't want to acknowledge that when 8, 9, 10 years ago, a lot of people weren't rocking with, not a lot of our people weren't rocking with the stones like that because they tricked us out of spot. But I always tell people the first thing they came and stole from us when they came over to our lands was stole the stones. You see what I'm saying? They came for your stones, they came for your money. They literally got all your stones in their museums right now. So it's like, if we're gonna get into it or not, if we're gonna understand the value, we have to understand the 3D aspect of it, the financial aspect of it, the spiritual aspect of it, the esoteric aspect of it. Somebody said I haven't seen the upside in years. Have y'all? I haven't either. But they're also fighting for it in the Congo. That's one of the main minerals in the Congo. Chrome, green dioxide.
And it's a copper-based crystal, so yeah, it's connected to chrysocolla, malachite, cuprite, tuckite, Iliite stone.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. If I'm not, let me not make sure it's diop. Yeah, it gotta be dioptase.
So powerful, green, like green chrome dioxide. You can't even get mad with it, bro. Like Epidote and green chrome dioxide is weird. I would wear it when I had a 3D job, right? And I'm at work, and somebody would say some little stuff, and I would be mad. And I don't never really talk when I'm mad. I'll just keep it to myself or whatever, and it would just explode. Green, and I was like, yo, it's expensive ass stone. It's beautiful ass stone. I was rocking with it because it was just green, but it's that for a strand of green chrome dioxide, it's probably about $125 for a strand of it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, unless you're over there getting a lick of it, but you ain't seen it like that, because I think it's from the Congo, and that's one of the minerals they fighting for. Because I'm telling you, from how we work with the stones, we can only work from our knowledge of what we're doing with it. But on the science aspect, they know what they're doing with this. That you can do so much with green chrome dioxide and Epidote. And I don't know everything about Epidote, but Epidote, there's something really powerful about Epidote, bro.
Yeah, I know Epidote is normally found in prayer night, and I know Epidote is a crystal that has a high calcium content, because I did a video on calcium crystals, or crystals that have calcium in it, for like if you look into like amplified DNA connection, because that connected to the bone and the bone marrow. So calcium based crystals kind of amplify that type of connection as well. And Epidote, if I'm not mistaken, has calcium in it. But yeah, Epidote is also known to amplify energies as well. Like
it has an amazing feeling.
Epidote has one of those quote unquote like warning type of things, like with quartz, where it's like, all right, be aware of when and how you use it, because it amplifies energies. So as you brought up that story, I'm like, all right, that's interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I used to, because when I first got it, I was happy because I like green stones. So when I first got it, of course you like green stones are heart chakra stones. So of course you feel it in your heart. You know what I'm saying? You get happy a little bit. So I'm saying with this green, I don't even know why I like it. It's almost like a green. It's almost like a green tourmaline, but it's Epidote. And I kept it in my back pocket, and then I started liking that green chrome dioxide, because I could feel it. You could feel the energy going through it. But yeah, you can't get mad with those stones at all, man. Them stones just explode. Like, I'm telling you, at one point in time, I was shutting the radio off from across the room type shit. I know exactly. I'd be like, man, turn. I just said some shit. Or then sometimes it got deep where I didn't have to say it. I would just think through the shit, and shit would start flickering around this motherfucker. I was like, oh shit. But no, you don't see that stone. I guess that's why you don't see that stone around that much. So it says, shout out Seven Bomar. Here, another real one. I ain't gonna lie, no cap. Seven Bomar changed my life with the Overmind. That's when I was really I was on my deep dive and trying to figure some shit out. And then I wasn't even on Bobby Hemmy yet. Seven Bomar counted with the Overmind.
All right.
And you remember the Overmind?
No, that's a certain video, a certain subject matter from one of his videos.
With Seven Bomar, the Overmind. And listen to that. That was one of my first lectures where all the way in, and that shit changed my life, because it was explaining what you're seeing, it's explaining what you're feeling, it's explaining why things are kind of like it is, and then you be like, okay, I'll never take a man's word for shit. But once you start researching it, that's what I like. If we say something, you should be able to research it and take something back from it. So yeah, most definitely, big shout out to Seven Bomar. He most definitely did his thing. Green turquoise. I'm on the hunt to magnetize some at the Stone Mountain powwow in GA. Green turquoise, yeah, green turquoise has more, I think, iron in it. I know one video I said 10 or something like that. I was wrong. I'd be high, but no, it has more iron in it. And the way we'll remember this from now on is iron is represented by Ogun energy, and Ogun is represented by green and black. So when you're looking at green turquoise, you're looking at that green and black turquoise, more iron than copper. The bluer means more copper in it.
Yep.
Yeah, man. If you're on the lookout for the green turquoise, we'll put a lookout on it for you. You got some green turquoise without?
No, I don't have no green turquoise. And be honest with you, I'm more of I like connecting with the more teal color turquoise because I've seen green color turquoise before, but I normally just resonate with the more bluer color or
Man,
teal, I should say.
boy, I'm telling you, listen, bro, that Bisbee blue. If you come across that Bisbee blue, man, listen, I fuck with that Bisbee blue. I love that shit, bro. That shit, you just feel it. That's the first piece of turquoise I ever saw. I was probably, and it's just those colors you see when you're a kid, you never forget. The first time you seen turquoise, if you just remember the first time you ever seen turquoise, if you were a kid, that's why when you have a kid, you always supposed to give a kid turquoise, like a little piece of turquoise. That's one of our little traditions. But the first time I saw it, I was at the flea market. So my mom used to work at the flea market all the time. I'm a flea market kid. So they used to have turquoise all out there. And I saw this beautiful spider web Bisbee turquoise. And it popped so blue. And it was like, damn. And I've been chasing it ever since. I've been chasing the dragon ever since.
And as we brought up magnetizing crystals, something I also noticed with crystals is but now this is like, so I know a lot of people is talking about like trying to connect with the crystal because they don't have it, but I also realize when you do get a certain crystal, it's almost like it speaks to the other crystals of that same energy. So in essence, like, you get I'm wearing turquoise, and all of a sudden I come across different places that got some unique turquoise, and been in this city or in this area for the longest. But the few days I wear my turquoise, then go out. Now I'm seeing turquoise everywhere. So it's also like a little communication on that level too. Like as far as like after you get the crystal, in essence too, it's like it communicate with the other, you know what I'm saying? You find yourself like, all right, dang, I ain't never been to this shop before, and here is the same crystal, you know what I'm saying? So they communicate on that level as well too, on the
And
magnitude.
bro, we need to do this again. Mineral report. The 10 o'clock news. We about to wrap it up pretty soon. I'm getting through these comments and these questions, but most definitely
Yep.
want to do it again. You say you rocking with Uncle Hank?
Yeah, man. I want to say as of recently, when I first started catching, well, I know he'd been doing videos for a little while, but like the last 4 years or so, and then not too long ago I got one of the it was like a little square pendant from him, you know what I'm saying? And I definitely got to tap in with some of those acacia beads he got. But yeah, as of recently, I know I saw him, and I ain't gonna say as his recent video, but as of recent, I know I commented because I was kind of asking him under a comment about his Yingming Zhu crystal, because it was looking like it was glowing a blue color, and I noticed that the Yingming Zhu to the naked eye it kind of looks more green, but when you're using the camera phone, it appears more bluish. Almost honestly, almost like a turquoise blue. But yeah, brother, bro, Honk. You know what I'm saying? He be with it, man.
His show is all about crystals, magnets, and pyramids, and you already know, man. Shit, I'll get you on the next time he want to do a show, so I'll get you on the next time because that's how we get the energy, man. He has a great platform where he's been talking about this for a long time. He might give you some science that you rock with. You might mess around, be at the show, and can like we all need to connect, bro. I always think about business because the first thing I want to do is make sure all of us eat. They say you can't want for yourself until you can't truly believe until you want for yourself what you want for your brother, what you want for yourself type shit. So one thing about it, like if we all gonna be on it, nature can't sign paperwork. I most definitely want to make sure if we on it, like, bro, we can get on it and take it to a whole nother level, man. So I'll get you on there next time I go on, man. Like for real, we'll do it. But I also want to do mineral report. Keep us updated on what stones is moving right now. You might say that it's popping right now because you're in Tucson. Remember, you're in Tucson. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. What's your next? What you got coming up next?
Again, I'm able to tap in. You're talking about like when the next time I'm able to like come on and do
anything. First off, tell me your Instagram. How can we support you? Tell me your next show. I know we're going on again, hopefully tomorrow with Mineral Report, what I said.
But I was gonna say my Instagram is, well, my Instagram that I do my jewelry from is Epic Lifestyles. It's EPIKLIFESTYLEZ. So Epic Lifestyles, that's on Instagram, and that's also the same name of my Etsy shop, as well. And then my main Instagram is Universal Frequencies with the number 1 behind it, spelled exactly how it is. And honestly, if you go to my YouTube channel is Universal Frequencies. It'll have, like, when you go to the first page, on the top of it, it'll have like all of my donation links. So all the links to like the Cash App, PayPal stuff. And then also my Discord server, my Patreon, all the other socials will be linked through my YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? So I'll just plug that into it, and then you could get all the other things from there. You know what I'm saying? It even has the Etsy shop as well plugged in on there too. So
yeah, man, support, man. Each one. I'm trying to build a big old bridge or something. We got to build our Wakanda now. I'm trying to have heaven now. Fuck all that waiting shit. The world is tearing itself up. Pay attention. Mineral news. The world is tearing itself up about minerals that right now people are will give it to you for a couple pieces of paper. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All we're doing is putting art to it and educating you about it. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's bro. You'll learn something from the cradle to the grave, and this is what our ancestors did in the temples, the ancient temples of keeping us young forever. The temples of Hathor or man, the temples of Heru or the temples of Dadara. There's so many different things they were doing with these stones. The Olmecs, etc., etc. The guy that said they Shriva, son, yeah. There are mothers who are before language looking for those with the sprouts sense. I read that because I didn't want to ignore it, but I'm not sure what they meant. Let me see. I would be dope to do a trip to the gym. So yeah, it would be actually. I'm trying to see if anybody had any questions. I know I might not be able to get to everybody. You have to make a sacrifice to God. Yeah, Serpent's gemstone. I click Serpent's gemstones. I'm just trying to catch any questions real quick. If I don't get to this time, my apologies. Somebody said I worked a 3D job. Yeah, well, I hope everybody did at one time. They said a 3D job. Yeah, let me tell you how to get out the 3D job. First, we go get into these gemstones. Learn the gemstones. Go and invest you about $200 in a gemstone store and start selling stones. Speaking of which, I gotta support another business. I Am Sig sent me this beautiful organized piece, and she put the energy going on me. So she sent me this, and it got all sorts of stuff. She put copper, gold in it. Big shout out to I Am Sig. We're gonna do a show with her tomorrow, and I'm gonna have it done by then. But yes, and I beat it with obsidian and shungite and green onyx on there.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that's
we're gonna start passing energy around. We're gonna start collaboration over damn competition type shit. And at the same time, I got people that I'm cool with in South Africa right now talking about doing some real shit. We need to be getting our connections right over here. Like I said, you've been doing this for a long time. That's why I fuck with you on the track record side. A lot of people might jump into it 5 seconds ago or some popcorn shit. They want the shit done yesterday, but you've been doing it for a minute. So big shout out again for that. We'll get you on the platform where people really appreciate minerals and stuff of that nature too. And shit, like keep doing what you're doing. Like I say, Mineral Report. Anything else you want to put out there? What's going on, man? Who you want to shout out? Anybody shout out like 3 black-owned businesses, black women businesses or something? Give me some shout outs.
Man.
Or somebody. What's going on?
As far as, man, I know, and so I don't have particulars because in essence I would like to cater to, I guess in essence, people, where they at locally. I know, I would like to give a shout out to, you know, the sister and I connected with out here in Tucson that's been allowing for me to, you know, do certain little art shows and stuff like that. You know, Sister Randisa out here. Y'all done see me post some of my latest posts on Instagram, you know, and you know, connecting with, you know, different a Juneteenth show out here, you know what I'm saying? But just to come from Louisiana, come out to Tucson and find that type of little connection, you know what I'm saying, was very key and important. But I'm aligning something on my Discord server to have like a list of different businesses, but my brother and sister in Opelousas, Louisiana, you know, doing it right now with, you know, got Camrod with the sea moss. You got Angels Ginger Water with my brethren Big P, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I have like a way for everybody to connect, because again, it's people, you know what I'm saying? My brethren Cisco in California, charge crystals not charge crystals not phones, you know what I'm saying? That's his saying. Got my brethren Andre from Opelousas, he rapping crystals, you know, Marcus Rakim, you know, he doing music, and he just did a show recently with somebody, but he on point with the gemstones, you know what I'm saying? But bro, you know, I could be on here shouting out all day. That's why I had to like pause for the call.
Bro. Listen, we got to control our own narrative. We on the big screen now. You see what I'm saying? You using your mind. Shout out Chief Blackrock. He's doing the effects and the edits and all that shit for us. Shout out the Upstate Network. Shout out Uncle Hank. Shout out Rod Hayes. Shout out Sister Maya Moss. Shout out Universal Frequency. Shout out to the Phoenix Clan. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to anybody that's been doing the shit that ain't been getting acknowledgement. That's what my channel for. So we're gonna shout out them out for the business, because our part of, if this is our network and we can run it like we want to run it, why are we still talking about BET when we know we don't own BET no more? Why are we talking worry about what ABC talk about, or NBC, or anybody for that matter whatsoever, if we know that these people are blatantly disrespecting you out in public? In Mineral News, they just found a whole email that the future Republican Party was calling us everything besides, no, they probably call us that too. They call us everything. You see what I'm saying? Everything but the child of God. And they brushed the vice president and the president of the United States brushed that shit up like it wasn't nothing. Their government is not our government no more. So I'm all about, yo, we need to pull away. We need to get us our own Crystal City. They told us about the Crystal City. If we have the knowledge to build the Crystal City, let's build the Crystal City and get the fuck out these people away so they can destroy themselves, get the fuck out, you know what I'm saying? Whatever they got going on ain't what we got going on. And we have a sovereign right, huh?
I was gonna say, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is at this point, man, again, only tapping in with the news for stuff that might be really truthfully 100% relevant to some business that you got going on. But the old story, like I got this saying where, like, once I know, when I step outside, all I gotta know once is that a bee could sting me, you know. So meaning that I'm not going every time I go outside, man, a bee might sting me, a bee might sting me, a bee might sting me. I just need to know that a bee might sting me once, and I'm gonna remember that. So I'm gonna just focus on solutions to make sure that bee don't sting me. AKA, man, we know what, you know, all the shit, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's, you know, lying about certain indigenous knowledge, stuff like that. So, you know, again, like we focus on give a little look at the problem, but it's solution based, you know what I'm saying? Because you get solutions, focus on the solutions and not the problems, you know, because I'm real strong about that, you know, like I don't give zero energy to no little story about what they done did to, you know, again, like unless you're bringing up like what you bringing up, like, well, all right, the crystal minerals here that we dealing with, there's something going on here. But like all the stuff that just seemed like is either fear mongering, because I asked myself, I'm like, when had the fear mongering message ever saved my life? And never. It's never been a moment where
I'll never. One thing about me, yeah, I'm doing some proper preparation to prevent poor performance. I just want to,
I'm not talking. I'm talking to like the more so like, you know, our family in essence that may not be super metaphysical, and just like the community as a whole of the sense of like with when what comes to mind is like the whole police. So not what you just was talking about, but like police brutality type of shit and all that type of, you know what I'm saying? It's like that ain't nothing but to pull on your emotional string. You know, you already know that this is going on. Just focus on the solutions. And again, I would say it's best for you to focus on the solutions, because I'm also not going to tell you what to do, because some people are on that part of their journey where that's all they want to focus on or pay attention to. And, you know,
You're
you
right.
can't change that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I would just say that it would be best to focus on the solutions while being aware of the problem. Now, again, when new problems pop up, yeah, we got to focus on that. It's like, all right, this new shit popped up with artificial intelligence and the government. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because that's relevant. But all the like, you know what I'm saying? Like I joke, I'm like, much shout out to who it is, Burning Spear. When I think of like his music and his songs, but I think of the song 400 years, you know. And it's like, you know, much love, because I realized, you know, it is bridging the gap between the elders and the youth. But it's like, you know, and shout out to Damian Marley for this. Like Damian Marley had to make a reggae song where it was like, if the struggle continue, then will when we overcome, you know. It's like, bro, we can't keep singing those same songs, you know what I'm saying? Because it as metaphysicians, as spiritual beings, you know, we gotta know, like, all right, we gotta, you know, focus, you gotta be solution oriented, you know what I'm saying? Again, I feel like the reason why we do it, I know why I did it, you know, it's because, yeah, we be trying to, you know, reach for our, might be relatives in most cases that's not on it like how we on it, like we reaching out to try to pull them up, you know. But again, it's like, you know, I could only stand to help you get out of the quicksand. I gotta stand on solid ground. I can't jump in there with you, you know what I'm saying? But I'll reach as low. I'll get on my knees trying to, you know what I'm saying, help you get out of that. But you know, again, like with a lot of that new stuff, you know, it's like, again, from that perspective. But now what not be talking about, and what we talking about from the paying attention to the news, from stuff that is relevant. Again, now is the vibrate. If it's relevant to my now moment, you know, and it really is relevant, you know, like I could see some type of substantial difference, you know. Again, like you trading gold, silver, then you need to know about what's going on with gold and silver. You're dealing with gemstones, you need to know what's going on with the gemstones. But I'm talking about like the, you know, the stuff where it's just like, man, you know, we just gotta let it go. You
Yeah,
know,
no, bro. I said it. I say it, and it be with a heavy heart when I be saying this shit. I'll be like, man, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have that fuck it mentality about some shit. But then at the same time, I also be like, damn, I was a kid at one point in time, and mother didn't tell me shit. And and now, like you said, I had to walk my own path and figure shit out myself. The thing is, if we're the new OGs, right? Like I say, you're an OG now. You've been doing this for a minute. You're OG now, and people watching you from a different perspective. So that means if somebody watching you from a perspective, that they can learn how to. It says in the Gospel of Barnabas, and I leave it with that. That blessed to see who learn how to walk by watching somebody else fall. When we talking, you're right. We are, or you know what I'm saying. We are. What's the word for it? You just said it. Trying to get solution based. That's when I'm talking about the crystal city and everything else. If we talk about it, now we know who is who. We can identify some stuff. Now we can start, you know what I'm saying, putting our minds, and our minds is more powerful than anything. You can call us on social shots with your thumbs. That's what Jay say. You know what I'm saying? Still, your mind is powerful. You know what I'm saying? What they say back in the day, conversation rule the nation type shit. So no, I ain't trying to revert on to no trauma bonds and shit. But at the same time, same place, shit. If I would have known about how John the Conqueror back then, I would have been on them racist motherfuckers' ass. You know what I'm saying? And we got to get back into why did our ancestors teach us the juju? They didn't teach it to us to use this shit against my brother because I want to hate on my brother. They didn't teach it to us to use it because I need somebody to fall in love with us. They taught us to fight against our oppressors or against our enemies. And right now, there's a multifaceted war on all fronts, and we can ignore it That's fine. It's not going to go away. Or we can identify what's going on. And by identifying it, like I said, proper preparation prevents poor performance. I ain't got to get ready when I stay ready. And when my goal is I don't have no ulterior motive besides to create this well springs for us where we're growing our own food. We have brothers and sisters everywhere. Like somebody just asked me, we're doing the other mineral report tomorrow, and we're on different time because I'm in Florida. You're in
Mountain Time,
and then I in Phoenix is in like Oakland. So we all on different times.
Pacific. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we all on different times. But like I said, man, I like putting information out there because guess what? You don't know who will catch this and it might change. They might pull a 180 and change their shit around, or might step outside with their right foot instead of their left foot, or step out of bed. You know what I'm saying? They might they might have intentions when they move. You might woke up an non-playable character and they be like, yo, wait a minute. I don't want to be in the 3D Matrix no more either. You know what I'm saying? I want to be a part of some other shit. So yeah,
yes, sir.
I appreciate you, God. I don't want to bore you with the talk of, you know what I'm saying, no basic shit. We're gonna be on some next level shit. So
no, and for me, bro, that's why when we talked about it, you know, and you brought it up to me, I'm like, you know, I could tap into it, but I genuinely do have again like a little like a certain level because sometimes like I even try to watch some stories and it's like I'm just naturally tapping out of, you know what I'm saying? So and I have a thing again where I'm not like, if it doesn't resonate for me to look at it, I'm not gonna force it. You know what I'm saying? But again, I took the stories that I felt that I could connect with and say something about, you know what I'm saying, more so, you know what I'm saying? But again, with any and all aspects, man, it's honoring each other's growth. You know what I'm saying? I was, you know, I done been through all levels. Like you go look at some of my old videos. I got a video where I was talking about going to the club in Baton Rouge after my spiritual awakening. You know what I'm saying? Huh?
That where you from, Baton Rouge?
Oh, no. I'm from Opelousas, Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? Opelousas, and matter of fact, connected to the Opelousas tribe, but technically I don't have any ancestors, you know, because my mom real deep on the diving into the ancestry. I don't have any Opelousas tribe members in my family, but what is unique is that those of us from that area still kind of connect and embody that energy, because the Opelousas tribe kind of was central Louisiana, and they was kind of like mediators between the tribes more so eastward and the tribes westward. But the Opelousas tribe mostly connected westward with the Atacapas and the people towards Texas. And no coincidence that Opelousas, Louisiana, our little area is strongly connected to like the Houston vibes. Like we strong on the DJ Screw. Like you wouldn't even think you was in Louisiana in some cases, like depending on our mood, because sometimes we be boosted, New Orleans, Cash Money out, but then we right there with the DJ Screw. You hear people jamming Screw, you know, on swingers, you know, as well, you know, on that vibe. But yeah, I'm from Opelousas, you know what I'm saying? I'm from
No, I'll be down. I'll be over there in Miss You like when I was coming up. You know, Miss You.
All right, say that again.
Miss You, East New Orleans.
All right. No, I'm not familiar with that area. You say,
yeah.
And that's in East New Orleans?
Yeah, I used to do my little running around over there on East New Orleans, Reed, Bullard, Miss You. I'll be over there like.
All right. Cause yeah, for me, New Orleans, like I had family on my dad's side of the family. We're from New Orleans. Cause quite literally, like I have no cousins from Opelousas on my dad's side of the family. They all Ninth Ward, or I want to say, I forgot the other area, but from the Ninth Ward area. But I rarely was connecting with that side. You know what I'm saying? Like
my grandma from out there. That's the only reason I'll be going back to my grandma from out there.
All right. Hey, shout out to grandmother, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, on my birth. Somebody said they're in Temple, Arizona. I don't know if that's close by you.
Tempe, all right. That ain't too far. I have to check because I think it's like closer to Phoenix if I'm not mistaken, but I have to look at the map. But all right, yep. And matter of fact, and speaking of, yeah, before we go tying that little in, and being from Opelousas, and Opelousas tied to the Blackfoot Indians, no coincidence. Blackfoot, excuse me, Blackfoot Indigenous, Blackfoot Indigenous. You know what I'm saying? But Tucson is named after Tucson or Cookson, which also is tied to a name that means like the black foot or the black leg. You know, so I'm like, damn, it's no coincidence that I go from Opelousas and then come to Tucson, and there's this connection with the Blackfoot or black leg indigenous people, you know what I'm saying? So I digress though.
No, man, you most definitely connected. You've been walking the walk for a long time. Before it was cool, before everybody was on the social media thing, you've been just riding energy, and that's what it was all about. Like people that can tap into the energy and the certain frequencies, universal frequency. You know what I'm saying? That's why you like that open, because when you look into it, what he say, you see the universal frequencies. So yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. It's most definitely been an honor. I look forward to doing this again with you, man. Keep us listen. Mineral Report. You can give us any kind of science, knowledge, information, whatever you want. You give us something we take back with us. When you go into the shows, hit us up. We'll do a Mineral Report and shit. Tomorrow we're gonna go on I Am Sick. She got some science she want to drop tomorrow. And then I had to take a week off, man. I've been traveling and everything else. So now I'm about to get back on it. And we gonna, you know what I'm saying? I had to create a little bit and get all these orders out, but now we're gonna get back on it. Shit, and shit, we're gonna build, God. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna shit, I need your help, man. We're gonna build this Crystal City. So,
yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Peace to the guys.
Yeah, man.
Peace to the God.
Appreciate it. I say to the ancestors for sure.
I say.